Hello, dear fans, friends, and subscribers. This is your host Ram of the Cricket Happening Show with you today. All that I could say is that I am not able to do any justice nowadays as far as my cricket show is concerned. I'm not living up to the title of the daily cricket show, but yeah, there seems to be a sort of a big gap now, unfortunately. But as you know, I have already launched my own cricket website, www.cricket-status.com, which will, cricket-status.com is my website. You can always look. I normally post something over there, and also I'm very active on Twitter as well. But as and when I find time, I just come into the I come in and do my YouTube cricket show. I do see that there are a lot of loyal subscribers still there. So so all that I could say is that on this particular cricket show, I'm just going to talk cricket. That's it. So what I have is that is something you will be knowing. But one thing, as you know, I'm broadcasting this particular piece from my studios here in Toronto. So, as you know, yesterday Canadian cricket got a really a great boost, one could say, as the second round or the second edition of the GT T20 tournament, which was played at the CAA Centre in Brampton, in Toronto, was a big success. In fact, the finals was played between defending champions Vancouver Knights, who took on Winnipeg Hawks. And it was good to see the crowds really flocking the CAA Centre in Brampton. And we had I would say it was a good batting track initially, but the odd ball was definitely keeping low. It was good to see the crowds come in, it seemed it was very happy to see the sports minister there, certain other ministers also there, and the experts also had a lot to say. And I think it's a great, even the president of Cricket Canada, Ranjit Saini, was also there, and I thought it was a great success, no doubt about it. Really feel proud to be talking here from my studios in Toronto about how that particular match ended. As I said, it was the finals, and you could not have a better final, and you could not have had a better ending to a tournament like this, which was absolutely colorful all the way. And if you're just looking at the score, I mean, the scores, it became a tie. 192 for 8 was what Winnipeg Hawks made, and Vancouver Knights made 192 for 6. Scores level went into the super over, and the super over was also really superb. A bit of controversy, but in the end, it was a maiden title for the Winnipeg Hawks against defending champions, so it was good to see. But we all know the game changer, Andre Russell, how he could actually turn a game on its head. He almost did it, but unfortunately was run out, and then it went into the super over. And in the super over, even though Andre Russell was the bowler, I thought VC behind the sticks really muffed. He didn't collect the ball cleanly, and the ball went for 4 runs. So that really cost them a lot, one could say. But nevertheless, it was, as I said, cricket has received a huge boost here in Canada with this the second edition. I thought the second edition of the tournament has been very well conducted by the organizers. It has been. We have seen some real crowds come in, and that's what one is looking for. As you know, Canadian cricket right now is definitely in its infancy. Canadian cricket is not on the map right now, as you know, because they are still struggling in the league divisions. There was a time when Canada played the World Cup, but I think with this boost being given, with some local lads also playing very well, I think Canadian cricket is definitely on the upswing, and one is looking forward to more and more sponsors coming forward and sponsoring cricket in Canada. We know CIBC, the bank, is a big sponsor of cricket in Canada. So we all look forward to some nice things happening as far as the cricket scene is concerned in Canada, especially after this the second edition of the global T20 Canada tournament that ended yesterday. So just talking about the game in a very brief manner, Winnipeg Hawks were the ones who batted first. The openers, Chris Lynn and Shaiman Anwar. Now Shaiman Anwar, let me tell you, he cracked 90 runs of 45 balls with 8 fours and 7 sixes. That was tremendous. It was a tremendous innings from Shaiman Anwar of the United Arab Emirates. And as you know, the Associate Nations have been playing in this tournament and Associate Nations players, and I think it is another good thing that has happened, and I am sure Shaiman Anwar is going to be a very rich commodity, because now he would be scouted by leagues which the T20 leagues around the cricketing world for sure. So that's a good sign. And Shaiman Anwar, let me tell you, when he hits the ball, he hits it hard and high. Chris Lynn was doing a good job. The partnership was really going on at breakneck pace, one could say. But then the skids were put on by Andre Russell, who decided to bowl for the first time in this tournament after that injury that he suffered. But he did a great job for his team and captain as he picked up 4 wickets. And definitely the Winnipeg Hawks, after that initial assault by the opener Shaiman Anwar and Chris Lynn, had to be content. They were kept to 192 for 8, and that was some good bowling from Andre Russell. Pathan bowled well, and the Winnipeg Hawks made 192 for 8. Vancouver Knights, the defending champions, did not have a start. They had a horrible start with both the openers VC gone and Chadwick Walton into the pavilion. As I said, the pitch was a good batting pitch, but definitely the odd ball was definitely keeping low. We had a few instances where we saw Chadwick Walton being beaten by a shooter. Then we saw another wicket was Dwayne Smith for the Winnipeg Hawks as well. But Vancouver Knights were under the pump right away, and they kept losing wickets. There was a situation where they had lost 4 wickets for a few runs, 60 odd runs I reckon. And then Shoaib Malik, the captain, was the one who took up the gauntlet and started getting himself in, and he played some very good strokes. And the run rate kept on. Saad bin Zafar was the one who was giving him company, and one thought that Saad bin Zafar was a bit slow as well, and the crowd was seriously chanting Andre Russell. And this man, let me tell you, he is really dynamite. And he came there. The run rate required was more than 16 runs per over, and this is what Andre Russell can do. Till such time this man Andre Russell is there in the locker, no team can be safe. And he almost did it, as he started banging sixes with absolute pleasure, one could say, as he cracked a 20 ball 46. And just see this. This is the finals. The crowd had come to see it. The crowd got their money's worth as the match went down to the wire, and in the final delivery, Andre Russell was run out. There was a run out in the final delivery, and that resulted in Vancouver Knights. It was a 20 ball 46 from Andre Russell. He almost got them victory, but then being run out of the final ball trying to clinch the victory, it ended in a tie and then went into the super over. The super over, the first to bat was Andre Russell walked in along with, I think it was, if I'm not wrong, Andre Russell was with Vander Dussen, who walked in, and well, they could not, Kaleem Sana was the bowler, and Kaleem Sana also bowled the final over. He's a young pace bowler who has not played a lot of matches in Pakistan itself. He is a Rawalpindi pacer. He's coming from Rawalpindi, but I thought he bowled excellently. He definitely has made a mark here, because what he has done is he has bowled the final over to Andre Russell, kept him quiet, and not only that, he has also taken the onus on himself, telling Ryan Emmerich, the captain of the Winnipeg Hawks, that he would like to bowl the super over, and that shows a lot of confidence in this youngster coming there and doing the job for Winnipeg Hawks. So as I said, Andre Russell was out, and that really brought the curtain down, because Andre Russell, as you know, what he is capable of. So once Andre Russell was out, it was very sad to see Vancouver Knights, the defending champions, ending with just 8 runs on the board, and that was definitely not enough. But we had some drama when the the Winnipeg Hawks actually batted, and that was the time the Winnipeg Hawks had their VC coming in, along with, I reckon it was Chris Lynn, who walked in for the Winnipeg Hawks. And what one saw was that Andre Russell was on the money. He had bowled 2 balls which just giving away singles, and then it was getting close, but Chris Lynn got a ball from Andre Russell which would have been a dot ball had VZ actually collected it behind the stumps, but unfortunately it went for 4 by, so that increased the confidence for the Winnipeg Hawks, and Chris Lynn fired a boundary of the 4th delivery, I reckon, and that was it for the defending champions Vancouver Knights. Winnipeg Hawks, but there was a bit of a controversy, one could say, that was when the Vancouver Knights were batting, where Andre Russell got a ball which was above waist high, and the commentators in the comm box also said that definitely it should be called a no ball, which could have resulted in a free hit. But unfortunately that didn't happen, and that probably put the pressure on Andre Russell, and Andre Russell was out. But that was something, it had a tinge of controversy over there, whether that would have been called a waist high, it would have resulted in a free hit, and Andre Russell could have swung his arms like only he can, and probably even send it soaring into the skies. But nevertheless, it was all over. But as I said, Canadian cricket has received a great boost as far as cricket is concerned. I'm sure with this second edition of the tournament, we have seen that it has been some stuff that only dreams are made of, one could say. So definitely that was the sort of atmosphere that we had at the CAA Centre in Brampton. So, well, one only hopes that this particular second edition of the GT, the Global T20 Canada, really, and also let's also talk about the few good things that happened. One was drop-in pitches were brought in from the United States, and 2 drop-in pitches, and these drop-in pitches, let me tell you, it played exceedingly well. We saw some real good cricket, we saw some good runs being scored, we saw some nice wickets being taken. We also saw some great catches coming from the fielders. Usman Ghani was superb with that catch yesterday in the final, and we also saw a superb catch taken at the boundary. I'm trying to remember, I think it was Usman Ghani, if my memory serves me right. But nevertheless, we had thorough entertainment here at the CAA Centre in Brampton, which hosted all the matches for 3 weeks, and one could not have asked for any more excitement than what it was in this whole tournament. So way to go, Canada. So that's something. Now, on a very brief manner, we are going to look at the match that happened. It was the second one-day international, which happened between India and the West Indies. It was played at Port of Spain, Trinidad and Tobago, and India were the ones who batted first. They put up a score of 279 for 7. Just a brief story there. Virat Kohli went on to make his 42nd ODI ton, which was very good to see. It was a flawless innings from Virat Kohli. He got company from Shreyas Iyer, who cracked 70 odd runs, so that was also very refreshing. But other than that, I thought the West Indies bowlers really came back pretty hard and saw to it that they restricted the Indians to 279 for 7. So that was a good job. Jason Holder and Brathwaite in particular doing very well in the death overs. India, West Indies were given a target of 280 to win, but barring the knocks coming in from Evan Lewis, who was holding the fort for them, and Nicholas Puran, who showed a real sense of urgency. Other than that, the West Indian team could not. I mean, Jason Holder, unfortunately, was left with only the tail enders for company, and Bhuvneshwar Kumar cleaned up the tail, and that was it for the West Indies. But let me tell you, one man who did a great job there, or probably would be a sort of pure gold for the West Indies, was the bloke Chris, the universe, what do you call him? You call the universe master, who is none other than the opener Chris Gale, who has now become holds the record for the most runs in one-day international, eclipsing the all-time record of the great Brian Lara, who was in Canada, as you know, as an ambassador. His record was eclipsed today by Chris Gale, who now has gone past Brian Lara and now holds the record for the most runs in one-day internationals for the West Indies. So superb job. He has been an entertainer par excellence, as we all know, and it was it was a nice gesture on the part of the Indian captain Virat Kohli, who actually prodded the West Indian public to come on, start clapping for him, and then definitely the Indian players also really gave him a very good round of applause, and that was really good to see. That really talks about really a very good team spirit between both the teams. So that is as far as the India-West Indies game was concerned. Other than that, we have seen 3 retirements come in this week. Dale Steyn of South Africa, Hashim Amla of South Africa, and Brendan McCullum of New Zealand have all said goodbye, but not, Dale Steyn has already said goodbye to cricket. Hashim Amla has retired from international cricket. McCullum has retired from all forms of cricket. Steyn would still will be there, I reckon, for the T20s and ODIs, if I am right. So that is something they wanted to talk about. We also had Afghanistan suspending Mohammad Shahzad, the dashing batsman, the Mad Max as we call him. Very unfortunate. I think that's a big blow for Afghanistan, because I thought he was the real key. He's one of the very, very animated characters for the Afghanistan. He's a very nice character on the field. He really lifts up the team, does a lot of talking behind the stumps. He's the wicketkeeper. He's a very dashing batsman, and very unfortunate that Mohammad Shahzad has been suspended indefinitely by the Afghanistan Cricket Board for probably not taking permission and going and playing in Pakistan in some league, probably, if that is the right news that we are into. Also, as you know, the West Indies Test squad was selected this week, where, as I said, there is a tall, off-spinning all-rounder by the name, who is more than 6 feet tall. His name is Rakeem Cornwall. So he's an off-spinner. With his height, he can get some good bounce. He gets some sharp turn on the pitch. And what is more important is that with his height, I am told that he can hit some effortless sixes. So he has come into the Caribbean team, or the West Indian team, as a genuine all-rounder, and he is the new kid on the block on this Indian tour of the Caribbean. So that is something that I wanted to share. Well, I'm just going to share one more news just before we go. As you know, New Zealand are in Sri Lanka, and they are getting ready to play the Test series. The first Test match is starting tomorrow between New Zealand and Sri Lanka. New Zealand take on Sri Lanka. So just in a brief manner, I'm just going to have a sneak peek at that. So let's see what's in store as far as New Zealand and Sri Lanka are concerned. Well, just another news that I would like to share. Rassie van der Dussen, who has been doing a great job in this GT Global T20 tournament in Canada, has really won a lot of admirers, and he has earned a central contract with Cricket South Africa for his. And I'm told he's a 360-degree player. And the 360-degree player, as we all know in cricket, to me, there are only two 360-degree players. One is A.B. de Villiers of South Africa. The other one is Josh Buttler of England. So I think Van der Dussen would be the future 360-degree player in cricket. So that is one thing that I wanted to share it with. And now, as I said, I'm going to very briefly look at the match which is coming up. As I said, the first test match is coming up between New Zealand and Sri Lanka, and that is going to be a real beauty, no doubt about it. New Zealand would be definitely attacked with a lot of spinners. As you know, this is the mantra that Sri Lanka has. Whenever any opposition team comes here, they decide to get the spinners out, and they prepare spin pitches. So basically, they doctor the pitches and doctor the pitches to spin. So, but this will be a real challenge. This New Zealand team, to me, are a very, very different team now. They have a great leader, no doubt about it. They have a new coach. Hesson is gone. Mike Hesson has done his job. He has almost brought New Zealand into the final, as we all know. And the new coach New Zealand. As you know, England won the World Cup. We all know the story. Gary Stead is the new coach of the New Zealand cricket team. Now, just talking about the New Zealand and Sri Lanka team, let's have a very brief look. As I said, they have included a left-arm spinner with Lasith Ambaldenia. Akhil Dhananjaya is another multi-dimensional bowler. And I think the real challenge for New Zealand here would be the spinners, the Sri Lankan spinners. But I think this particular New Zealand team, to me, is a team which, unlike the other New Zealand teams of the past, I have a feeling that they are better equipped to deal with the Sri Lankan spinners in Sri Lanka. So nevertheless, so that the first test coming up tomorrow, New Zealand versus Sri Lanka, it would be played. I'm just going to tell you where exactly it is being played here. It's being played at, I think it's a Saravanamattu Stadium. So I'm going to just check that for you. But unfortunately, I think we are running out of time here. Unfortunately, I have to wind up this cricket show by saying that tomorrow the first test starts between New Zealand and Sri Lanka. Until I come back once again on my cricket show, that is on YouTube Cricket Happenings, it's goodbye from Host Ram Studios. Thank you.